What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Civilization 5 East Asia AI only battle. I hope you're enjoying the action so far. Is this episode number... Get confused, 6 I believe, because I've done 5, but 5's not out yet, so I'm getting confused. Yeah, 6. But we're deep into the modern era now, and infantry, we're getting to Korea in particular has definitely got some even more modern units, mobile SAMs, rocket artillery for them. So yeah, we'll get right into it, but before we do that, just quickly, if you are already subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you could turn on notifications for the channel. It really helps out. So yeah, if you could do that, that'd be great. But yeah, with no further ado, we'll get straight into the action. It's my third episode of today. We're getting through it. My third recording of the day. But I hope you're enjoying it. It seems like people are, although so far only 3 episodes are out, so you never know. Things could all go wrong. But at the moment, there are some big developments. This city could potentially fall. And Ming, I did not see that coming, but there you go. With the Lancer unit, it nearly took everything. It just about survived. Reconquers this city off of Mongolia. And the Tsar will now attack Chiang Kai-shek's China. I don't think they've even peaced out with the People's Republic yet, so that's a bit brave. But we'll see how this goes for them. We have some more wars against Korea. Again, not too important. People's Republic of China are about as far away from Korea as they could be. And New Siam, again, not particularly gonna... I don't even know. They could still squeeze boats around if they wanted to, but I don't think it will happen. And they don't actually have any boats. They have a couple of cargo ships. No more. So I don't think they'll be doing anything crazy this episode. And who have we got here? We have got Burma, who has got the Manhattan Project. That's a bit of a surprise one. One of the... The thing is, I say early... There's not that many civs, so, being like 5th is actually not that early. It's like 3rd. It's like, that is the top 33% or whatever, so, or top 3rd. So there you go. But either way, I'm not going to be mean to Burma. Good job. I think they are sort of doing okay. I think everyone is genuinely still a contender, at least for the top 5. Maybe some civs can't win now, but, I think everyone's still a contender, apart from the Khmer, to appear in the top 5. I think everyone else could do some stuff that would give them a chance. Like, every civ has something they can be doing. I know Japan is currently fighting Korea, and so far no real progress again, sadly, for Japan. I had a lot of hope for them. They've actually got some good cities too. Tokyo, Osaka, Kyoto here, Nagoya, Hiroshima was only settled, I think, last episode, or maybe the one before. That's up to 7, so that's growing quite quickly. Not quite as quick as Daegu. That's unbelievable how quick that city's growing. But I can't imagine it's got the best production in the world, so it's not all perfect. The Champa have now completed the Manhattan Project. I mean, a nuke in this area would be devastating. There are so many units just stood so close together. Some areas you could, like, a nuke in the middle here possibly hits all 3 cities, if I'm not mistaken. Certainly if you had a big enough one, or a nuclear missile certainly later on could do a heck of a lot of damage. But I don't think anyone's got any nukes just yet, so they're safe for the time being. In the meantime, Mongolia have retooled. It looks like they're going to have another go at Ming, and Ming is kind of defending and at the same time kind of not. I mean, they can be sort of pretty calm right now. The Tsar and Chiang Kai-shek's China, their other 2 border nations, are at war with each other. Maybe New Siam is actually... Okay, yeah, these guys could be a threat, but I mean, they haven't attacked anyone for a while, so maybe you're okay. They did just slap down a city within their own territory. Was this the civ I said should do it? No, I think it was somebody else. Maybe it was them. Yeah, maybe there was definitely a civ. I was like, they should settle in between these 3 cities, but it wasn't them. I think it was Ming. I was saying Ming should settle like here, but kind of close, pretty similar, but not perfect, I'm afraid. Nearly predicted the future, but not quite that time. Right, here we go. Okay, this city is under attack, I think, by Japan's planes, but there's no way they're going to get to it anytime soon. So it's not okay, Korea, well, that escalated quickly. They have nuclear missiles. They skipped atomic bombs. They went straight to nuclear missiles. Fair enough. They don't have any oil, I don't think, which is pretty brutal considering how big they are. Up here, fairly big. But there you go, they have nuclear missiles. That is quite an upgrade. And that will certainly terrify someone like Mongolia, who, as we saw when we checked the info addicts last time around, are lost in technology. So that is pretty scary. So yeah, even if Mongolia does have a bigger military, although I don't think they actually do at the moment, the technology is going to be a scary factor for them. And I mean, even Ming are giving them some problems. They conquered 2 cities off them, essentially. And it looks like Ming is doing well. So there you go. It's a surprise, really, that those nations caught up. I think one of the Tsar... I think we need some... If we want some more superpowers to contend... I might be getting this wrong, but to contend with Ming... and it's not like Ming are perfect, but you know, particularly Mongolia's size and Korea's tech advances, I think if you want to compete with them, or we want some more civs to compete with them, we need one of these three, even if one of them just eats the other one, or two of them eat one of them. Like, that's what we need. Between the People's Republic of China, the Xia, and Chiang Kai-shek's China, we probably need two of them to kill one of them and share it, or one of them to just kill another one completely outright, and then they would obviously probably go on to kill the other one too. We need something like that, and we probably need one of these. I mean, a war between these two, I imagine the game might crash, because they have so many units right now. Hopefully it won't be too bad. Mongolia completes the Manhattan Project, finally, and Burma is influential. Yeah, I'm guessing that's over the Khmer, so as you can see, it's going to be a while before the tourism culture victory becomes available. Nothing to be concerned about. This city's another pretty new one that's growing very rapidly, up to 12 already. And the Champa finally were the victorious civ. And there you go, that doesn't create any border gore. But that does now cut the Shan states off from anyone other than Siam if they were to attack. So that could be interesting. We'll see what they get up to. I mean, they have a tiny border with New Siam, but they could go after vanilla original Siam here. 3 big cities available, but again, still plenty of units. That would be another bloodbath. The Khmer seem okay. And how is Burma doing? Burma, yeah, I mean, they're pretty good as well. I mean, 32, 28. There's some huge cities on this map. They are really cramming the people in. I'm pretty sure every civ has a city at least 25 plus, right? Sukhothai here's at 30. Here we have Yangon at 32, and Mandalay is also at 28. The Shan states have 25 in their capital, and all these are also high teens and 20s. The Champa actually miss out, but they are very, very closely compacted, so I'll let them off. 23, letting us down. New Siam have 2 cities again over 25, 26 here, and a 39. They also just completed the Pentagon, so they're going to be... That's pretty good for defending their sciences, technologies. It's nice that Korea doesn't get the Pentagon, and the other one, the Great Firewall as well. I mean, Korea probably will get that, but hopefully not. It's always interesting if it's not there. Okay, sadly, Chiang Kai-shek's China really let us down. They don't even have anything above 20, so never mind. But Ming has 31, 29, 21, 19. It's a big city, 19 just on this island, 17 on this island now. It's crazy stuff. Burma, I don't know how this island's got so many tiles, but that's impressive. Mao has got 33 in Shanghai, 26 in Tianjin. Mongolia has 25 in their capital. In particular, Beijing has already doubled since they conquered it from 8 to 19 again. And obviously Korea has 4 over 25. Incheon, Hangzhou, Busan and Seoul. And then over here, what do we have in Japan? Japan has Tokyo at 27, and Kyoto is probably going to be there at some point. And Siam, old Siam, has completed the Apollo program. So good job. I mean, there is a victory to be won, because we have all the victory types on. I don't know why that happened. It obviously resets to that, because I'm pretty sure I set it up domination only, but it didn't work. So I must have just unset it or something, or we reset it up again and it didn't work. So apologies for that. I mean, I don't think it's mattered too much this game. We've had a lot of interesting stuff going down. So that's great. There's a nuke? Surely not. Surely there's not been a nuke. I think this is just a ton of pillaging. But a lot of smoke coming out of that region. Japan is still attacking up here, but I mean, they're bombing this city, but it's not going to work, right? Korea can't really get around this mountain, and vice versa. Japan's not going to get around to their city, so that's a bit of a stalemate mess that isn't going anywhere anytime soon. How is China v the Xia going? This is just another brutal battle between some pretty even militaries, right? And technology levels, they're not particularly far apart. They're pretty similar sized. It is very rough for these countries right now, just slogging it out. I mean, I feel like eventually they just have to slog it out with each other, and then someone's going to just join in, and you're just taking the 50-50 chance they're not joining on your side. Well, no, they do join on your side and they help you out, because if not, it is going to be quite a brutal run. But we'll see. Burma is the next civ with the Apollo program. The Champa, see, these are just not useful, are they? I thought I'd just get a useful notification to read out, but no. China and Champa. Which China? I have no idea. It could be either of them. And we have another Manhattan project. This is for the Shan states over here, so good job for them. They have a ton of planes. See what they get up to. I feel like one of these three has to, like, they have to have a fight between each other at some point. They can't be best friends forever. Especially now the Champa have cut off the Shan from going anywhere else. And the Jar completely Manhattan Project as well. So good job, he did it. Well done, guys. Ming with a few boats here. I don't actually know who they're fighting here. Maybe Mongolia has actually managed to get some boats out from... Oh, they have their own city here. Never mind. I was going to say from these... I think they settled this already. Got it to 10. But yeah. Yeah, they must have done it. Because this is a puppet. So they must be building these boats in this city that they settled. Which is pretty cool. Battleships, submarines. Already, we do have some peace deals. New Siam and Mongolia, which doesn't matter too much. New Siam also completed the Apollo program. And Old Siam and Mongolia also piecing out. Wonders, not much has changed. I've read out the only change since we looked last time. Okay, so Burma and the Shan states are from... Burma has mobile SAMs, what the heck? Okay, they've got good technology, obviously. And a plane. One plane. Solitary one plane. I mean, Burma would be a great ally to fight Siam, because they can obviously come through, they control the canal city, they can bring their navy in here and fight Siams. The Shan states, obviously, I mean, it would again be just another horrible mess of units, but they do have the numbers. Obviously, then you wonder, do the Champa then join in and make it an even bigger mess? And there we go, Chiang Kai-shek's China now has their Manhattan Project completed. It's this, yeah, just pillaging all over the front lines here for all three of these nations. PR China is still fighting the Jar. It's impressive from the Jar, but it is getting a bit concerning. You know, they are going to start to run out of units, having to fight both of them. It's going to get a bit rough. And obviously Ming could... I think Ming is still technically at war with them. And the Champa now complete the Apollo program. I thought that was a wonder for some reason, but there we go. What is going on? I just got a interesting comment pop up on my phone on one of the earlier episodes of this series that just went live as I was recording, and it caught my eye there. Interesting comment. Right, what have we got going on? It's because I'm using my phone as the timer again now that I'm back down to one monitor as opposed to two. Can't see it anymore. Saulon has completed the Apollo program. Who's that? That is the... Korea actually has spaceship parts. They're on track for a very early space victory here. But a few spaceship Apollo programs being completed. Korea is actually damaging this city. I mean, the only good news I get... Oh, they nuked Japan. Oh no, Korea. How could you do this? Tokyo has been nuked. Osaka avoided it. It looks like Tokyo wasn't itself actually... maybe not the target? I don't know. The radiation's only on this western side. But there we go. Japan, that's not what you want. Not what you want to see. Sorry, Japan. But that's pretty brutal. I mean, the weird thing is Korea's not, like, dominating. Neither of them actually look, like, really good, do they? Like, they're not... Neither of them are in great shape anymore. But yeah, that probably puts an end to this. I mean, Tokyo was Japan's best city, and it is absolutely wrecked. So that's not what you want to see. Let's have a look at the biggest cities in the world right now. So there's 39 in Seoul and 38 in New Siam's big city. So those two are quite clear at the top. And then Shanghai and Busan of South Korea is still growing. We're at 34 each. 32 then for Nanjing of Ming. So that's, I think Nanjing and Busan have caught up quite a bit over. So Yangon here, or Rangoon, I think it's Yangon, and Sichuan have, those two used to be in the top 5. And obviously Busan and Nanjing have caught up. And I think Shanghai maybe... I think Shanghai was already in there, but Shanghai might have been 5th and now it's 3rd. But yeah, Nanjing and Busan, the big growers. Obviously, Busan is right next to Seoul. That is crazy. There's now 73 pop between those two cities. Mongolia did manage to push forward again, just with one. I don't know what Ming's defense... Oh, I think Ming is... I think they're being tempted to try and get this city, which, like, I'm going to be honest, is not the worst idea, right? 5 population, 6 population... 28. If you can get this and a free run at it, I would go for it. So fair play if you go for this, but like, don't just sit here and let these cities go back to Mongolia. That would be annoying. I think I just saw this Siam enter the information era, so I think everyone's getting pretty late in the game. As I said, we can process through this pretty quickly, and it's also on quick speed because some of my older games were so slow I had to, but now we can probably go back to regular speed in future. But it's always good to learn this sort of things. But yeah, I mean, obviously this game is running a lot quicker than usual ones because the map's a lot smaller, there's a lot less civs, I'm on my new PC. I've not done that many on the new PC. I think I've only done two battles, I think, before this one. So obviously they run a lot faster for that as well, because this PC is much better than the old one, which lasted a great 5 years. But now, when I have had to plug it in and reuse it or get something off of it, it seems really slow. I'm guessing that's just because I have a new one that's like really fast in comparison. But I don't know. It feels like maybe it's because it's not being used as much. It just feels very slow, like to the point it's just frustrating. Korea has sent a spaceship booster, so there you go. I mean, Daegu has dropped by 9 population. I don't know how that happened. I guess Japan just sort of starved them by surrounding it with units. That's pretty brutal, and it looks like Japan has been nuked again in Osaka this time. So that's a shame. Shame for Japan. That's pretty brutal. Korea and Japan, they're probably taking each other, giving each other a bit of a rough time. I mean, Korea, this affects their chances of a victory less, but it's not great. I mean, they lost a lot of population in Daegu, and they just don't have many units at all now. I mean, Mongolia has way more. Obviously, they're way behind on technology, but they do have way more, and they managed to grab both of these back off of Ming, which is very disappointing for Ming. I don't know what happened there. They just did not seem keen on defending. They have 230 pop cities right next to each other as well. So there you go. They're doing very good. Well, we'll see. Oh, they went back for that one. That's at least something. I guess they could get this one back too. But I thought they'd go for this one. But as you see, the Jar really struggling now. A lot of people probably starving here with a lot of farms being pillaged. Mao is obviously still, he's sitting back, but he's killing any units that venture too close. I mean, Mongolia right now, if they pieced out with Ming and just went for the Jar, that would probably be it. That would be a quick collapse of what remains for the Jar. Probably wouldn't last too long, I'm afraid. Wouldn't be the best time for them. Who's this? The Jar pieced out with Burma. Well, that's not so important, but then it happened, I guess. Burma denounced the Jar. Shan states and China. Great, that doesn't help. Shan denounced Mongolia. Okay, interesting. They are like the not the biggest civs. Some of the big contenders. Oh, they have all these really advanced units, and they just have a pikeman. So weird. They do now have their own atomic bombs. We'll do a little bit of an Air Force check again. I know we did one last episode, but we're moving at quite a quick pace. 10 turns is like a whole 50 years. Ming does not seem to have any nukes just yet. Does Burma have nukes just yet? Obviously uranium is dependent here, so it seems like the Shan did have nukes. If I remember that, I feel like I've forgotten already. Let me just check. Yes, they had one atomic bomb. The Champa do not. Chiang Kai-shek doesn't have planes. The People's Republic of China just has bombers. Oh no, they have one up here in Wuhan. Atomic bomb there. Guangzhou, just triplane. Just a lot of triplanes for Mongolia, nothing else really. Just, yeah, ton of triplanes. Fair enough. Korea did have nuclear missiles, but I believe they've all been used and they haven't rebuilt any, so there you go. Oh, they knew. Oh no, we can't have. Oh no. Come on, Korea. There's just one thing we need to try and not do. Please, don't do this. Well, another Japanese city's been nuked. Maybe a sec. No, that one hasn't. But all 3 of them in the mainland now have, and sadly Hiroshima was one of them. Well, you know, we like our irony, I guess. That seems like it in the nuke check. Everywhere else, no other nukes. So at the moment, the only people that could, in theory, drop a nuke right now is the Shan states and the People's Republic of China. Unless Korea rebuilds them. Daegu is really struggling. I don't know how, like, Japan's hardly here. I don't know how it managed to lose that much food so quickly. Maybe it might have been being pumped full of food from traders. That's the other thing. I don't even know how Seoul is this big, to be honest. A few farms. But there you go. Ming recaptures Dongjing. So there you go. They have both of these cities again. And it looks like they're trying to defend them a little bit more actively now, which you like to see. And Chiang Kai-shek is the next civ with the Apollo program. Again, it's not huge, but I mean, I may as well read it out. I mean, it is, the space victory is on. I think Korea's got it in the bag, but it is on in this game, so be cool to see. I need to make sure I click the right button when it does come up. Although, I think last time no one went for it, right? I know Morocco pulled off the awesome surprise victory last time in the last game with the, was it diplomatic victory? That I don't even know how they got that, but they got one. Khmer and Mongolia. Well, that doesn't matter. They've pieced out though. Right, this is definitely still the most interesting sort of front lines. Obviously, Japan is getting nuked, but they're not losing anything. They're doing just fine. We'll see how this goes, but not much progress being made in the wars between the Xia and China. Just a lot of damage being done. A lot of units, particularly on the Xia side, it seems, getting killed, which is not what you want to see. Great Ming has denounced one of the Chinas. Great, always useful. I'm assuming that's their neighbour, but you never know. And the Khmer, who I assume is the last civ to complete the Manhattan Project. We might be slightly wrong, but they only have one city, so that would make sense for them. Their religion was doing pretty well, and they were like built for defense, but obviously the Great Wall's not as useful anymore. And actually, yeah, Korea didn't get the Great Firewall, and also they settled 2 new cities pretty recently, including one on this side of the canal. So that's quite interesting. Don't know how that will. I don't know if that will have any impact on the game, because I don't think Burma and Siam have fought each other at all. But maybe. But importantly, they get the Great Firewall. Not so important for them. I mean, I think they are actually 2nd or 3rd in technology, so that is nice. But obviously, it's nice that Korea didn't get it, because Korea is probably being spied on by everybody for technology. So the fact that Korea didn't get it, you know, it allows some of the other civs to catch up. Maybe, you know, that is nice. And it looks like, is Burma at war with Korea? They're just rocking up here. What are you doing? I have no idea. I assume they're not fighting Ming, but maybe Mongolia? I'm not sure. Here's Ming's turn. You need to kill a few units this turn if you want to hold these. I mean, this one's okay, but you need to do some damage. And you didn't really kill many. But you put a land ship in the way, so that's fine. Although it did just die. To Mongolia. Korea sent another spaceship part, and the Shan states have pieced out with Korea. Mongolia just go, or did that land ship just randomly die? What the heck? Oh no, it moved into the water. That's what happened. Why would you do that? Now the cavalry can conquer the city. In 3, 2, 1. Oh, nope, they failed. Okay, never mind. I mean, maybe, yeah, I mean, okay, I was going to say the defense might be so high they didn't want to risk it, but no, I guess they just didn't want to do it. They would have killed 2 planes as well. And they also just about held on to this one for now, Ming. So that's great. And New Siam completes the Sydney Opera House. Nice little wonder for them. On the coast, there it is. Inside their massive city. It is now 3rd. It's been overtaken. Wait, I swear this was 38 a minute ago. What the heck? Everywhere's starving. I don't know what's happened. The food's obviously running out. Yeah, that was 38 at one point. Now it's dropped by 4 population. And no one's even at war with them. So I guess it's just struggling for food in the world. South Korea now has both the biggest, Seoul and Busan, now 39 and 35. Ming's other 30 pop city has climbed up to 6th place. So Ming have the 5th and 6th, biggest cities in the world. So they're climbing. Yeah, we're definitely not going to make it through 50 turns again. We'll probably get to like 225. So about halfway, but that's okay. It's absolutely fine. No issues. I don't know where the end will be. Judging by how quick we're going, I'm guessing it'll probably be like turn 300. And if there's loads of action, obviously we'll keep going on into the action. But yeah, and maybe I'll show you like every 10 turns or whatever. It depends how it's going. I'm keeping this one open. But in terms of the pure results of who is the winner of the game, we will probably do 300. Although we'll have a look at 250. 250 is the earliest it would be. That's kind of the usual point. And obviously with quick speed and stuff, we are gonna, you know, it's unfair to go on beyond like Korea. In this case, Korea is leading, I think, for technology, so I'll use them as an example. It's unfair to go beyond Korea reaching the end of the tech tree, because then they start to lose that advantage. So that's I try to balance the end for the results with the end of the tech tree, not the end of the, you know, watching and seeing what happens, but for the results, we try to sort of balance it onto when the best technological civ reaches the end. Because if not, they start to lose their advantages, right? If everyone has 80 techs just for differing amounts of time, that's not as great for Korea. Then obviously the other things like production. At the moment, Korea looks really good because they have the best technology, right? That's why they're doing so well, among other things. But, you know, compared to if Mongolia had the same technology, it wouldn't even be a question. Mongolia would absolutely destroy Korea. And I mean, it doesn't look like they're super far apart, but there's still a way to go for Mongolia to catch up. have a little look at the demographics quickly, but a little glance. As you can see, there you go. Korea with the most population, but Mongolia dominating crop yield, production, and economy. Land is actually Ming now in the lead. Interestingly enough, obviously they took 2 cities off Mongolia, who I think were the other. Those two were like neck and neck. The Shan still have the biggest military, and Burma with the highest approval. Ming at the bottom, me at the bottom for the rest of them as America, and then Korea leading the way for technology with 86% of the techs. On to a new turn. Okay, Mongolia is really going for this city, but there's actually no melee units nearby, so they won't be able to get it at all. And Ming is trying, I guess, to go for this one, which is a new push, because these two have been the battleground the whole time. But yeah, if they can get this, that would be fantastic for Ming. Not sure it's quite gonna work, but yeah, no, those units. Oh no, they didn't die. They've moved further around this bay area, but like they're in trouble. That's for sure. I don't know. So these units are together, right? Which one do you? I can't remember. Do you get to choose who you attack, or does it? I think it maybe kills the land ship first. I'm not sure who actually gets hit first. I'm sure someone can explain the logic of that down below. You guys are very good with that stuff. But Mongolia did manage to squeeze through. Oh yeah, the anti-air guns are melee weapons on the ground. Did manage to squeeze on in there. But it looks like Ming has enough to get it back. The Xia still just being hammered. This looks brutal. Somehow they've kept both of these cities, 3 cities, really big. Despite probably a big lack of food. So credit to them there. I feel like some of these cities are being artificially held up. Like, I mean, this one is probably the best example, right? Because there's no way it should have just dropped. I know this one probably hasn't helped. Like, this has probably started to steal some of the food as it gets bigger. This wasn't here at the start of this episode, right? And it's now at 14. So I guess that's quite a lot of growth. So it's not like a disaster. They lost 4 population here. We can think of it more as like migration as opposed to people starving. I think that's the way we should probably look at it. They've lost 4 here, but they are part of the 15 here. In theory, right? I know in the game they have just starved to death and new people have been born in the other city, but that's one way of looking at it with a bit of a positive spin. Japan completes the Apollo program and enters the information era. Oh, Kyoto got nuked too. That sucks. And Tokyo got nuked again. If it gets nuked one more time, I'm pretty sure it could disappear off the map, which is pretty. That would be really sad actually for Japan. If Tokyo just got completely taken out, that'd not be what you want at all. Right, what is going to happen next? I reckon Ming is going to take these back. Oh, they got pushed back out of both of them. Interesting. Also, these Korean cities are this one's about to hit 30 as well, and Busan might actually catch Seoul for because this is going up like 1 every 3 turns at the moment. Seoul is still at 39. Yeah, I think some of them are definitely like they're pumping food into certain cities. It must be. I mean, this one is also 33. It's catching up to Nanjing at 34. Those info addicts will be pretty interesting. Obviously, we won't get to look at them for a while. I mean, we could just look at them all the time, but then obviously it would take forever. I just want to look at population, actually. Let's have a little go. Here is score for anyone who's interested. So you can see Mao had a massive lead because of the wonders, but he hasn't got any for ages. He's still at 10. He's been at 10 for ages. You see, he's leveled off. The civs that have gone past are Mongolia, Korea, Ming. I think that's what those 3 are. We can obviously highlight those, so Mongolia, yep, number 1. Korea, where is Korea? Boom, 2nd, and Ming 3rd. They're the 3 that I've overtaken. You then have for a top 5, who else have we got? So we have Mao, PR China in 4, and then 5th and 6th is really close. It is the Xia in 6th, and I'm guessing that is the Shan in 5th. Yes, the Shan state's 5th, and then the Xia. And then there's a bit of a drop off to some of the other civs. The Champ are not doing as well as you'd expect. I see their purple line is pretty low. So that's interesting, but we'll have a quick look at the population. Just kind of want to see Korea now at 77 million. Yeah, Korea had a 25 million lead at the last Info Addicts. Korea's population is... Oh no, sorry, Korea. I think at the last one, 2nd place in Ming and Mongolia, or whoever it might have been if someone else was up there. It must be Ming and Mongolia, I think. But it was 40 million for 2nd and 3rd, and Korea led the way with 66. So Korea's grown by 11 million in the time that Ming have grown by another 25 million. So I think Ming may overtake Korea as like the powerhouse. I genuinely think that they're so big. I think they are the closest representative we have to like a modern day sort of China, right? Massive population, coming good in the late game, huge amounts of land as well. They are kind of that represent. I know obviously half of this map is most of modern China, so it's not really a fair comparison, but I think they're that kind of civ. I think they could still really go far in this game, and I wish I picked them now, but I picked Japan, so don't go with Old Faithful, I guess. That is the way. I usually always do pick new mods, and I did initially in the series, not the series, but obviously, if you remember, I recorded an episode and then it didn't work. I did pick the Shan states in that, because I like to pick new mods if I include new mods for fun. Which is always a bigger gamble, because you don't know how they're going to do. But, yeah, I went back to Japan just because I thought it'd be pretty cool. I thought they had a pretty unique scenario, being the only civ not on the mainland. And it didn't work out. I mean, they're not terrible, but they're going for a rough time right now, that's for sure. Mao has sent his first space booster, and the Jar and Chiang Kai-shek have peaced out. Nothing changing hands, except a lot of death between their units. It looks like Chiang Kai-shek's still got plenty of his units left. I mean, most of his land is full of his own units, but for the Jar, yeah, they're in a rough spot, and Mao is now making another offensive from the west, and he is sieging out that city there, Sichuan, which is really dropped in. Okay, that city has dropped. I said they are doing well to maintain their 28 population. This one's dropped by 3 in one turn, and this one was actually one of the top 5 cities in the world with 30 plus at one point, and it's now at 21. So that's also dropped by 3 in the last few turns. Okay, so never mind. The Jar really struggling for food. I just had forgotten how big the populations were. Siam and Korea peace out, as do Korea and the People's Republic of China. And Korea does complete the CN Tower. So slowly but surely, civs are catching up to the People's Republic of China's 10 wonders. It's taken a while, but here we go. Biggest militaries. Who have we got in first place? We have the Shan, then the Champa, then Mongolia. Who is that? Burundi? Burma. Got that completely wrong. Wrong civ beginning with a B. They do it better B, U, and R at the start, I guess. Burma, I nearly said it again. Burma in 4th. Quite a big drop off, by the way, between sort of, I mean, first and second's a massive drop, and then second and third are pretty close, and then 4th, 5th, and 6th are really close, but they're really far off number 3. So Burma 4th, Mao PR China in 5th, just behind Burma, and New Siam's also up there. Then it's Chiang Kai-shek's China, Siam, Ming then down here, starting to get a little low and scary. Korea, though, really low. Then the Jar, then Japan, and then right in last place is the Khmer. Korea, very low, though, is concerning. But that is not turn 225, but it will be it for this episode. So, as always, if you have enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and a comment down below. If you are new to the channel, I'd really appreciate it if you subscribed. And if you are already subscribed, I would appreciate it if you could turn on the notifications for the channel. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.